Hello, graceful Libra. Long before life begins to reflect what you've been hoping for, something quieter has already been changing within you. As July 10, 2026 unfolds, it may feel as though an invisible scale is finally beginning to settle after carrying more weight on one side for far too long. The universe isn't asking you to push harder now. It's asking you to loosen your grip and trust that what belongs in your life can arrive without being forced. There is a quiet confidence growing beneath the surface, even if your mind is still searching for proof. You didn't find these words by accident. Perhaps some deeper part of you recognized that your heart has been ready for a different way of living long before your thoughts could explain it. What once seemed distant is gradually moving closer, and you may already sense it in the unexpected longing for peace that has replaced the need to keep everything under control. For so long, you've been the one smoothing conflict, offering understanding, and protecting harmony even when your own balance was slipping away. You gave more than was often recognized, choosing kindness when it would have been easier to become guarded. You carried responsibilities that were never entirely yours because preserving peace felt more important than asking whether your own needs had been met. None of that has gone unnoticed, even during the seasons when appreciation seemed absent. This moment isn't inviting you to abandon your strength. It's inviting you to redefine it. There is remarkable courage in allowing yourself to receive, instead of constantly compensating, fixing, or proving your value. What is unfolding now asks for openness rather than effort, for trust rather than tension. Like morning light slowly filling a quiet room, the next chapter arrives gently, revealing what has been waiting all along instead of demanding that you chase it. If slowing down feels unfamiliar, that makes perfect sense. When you spend so much of your life anticipating the next responsibility or protecting everyone else's comfort, peace can almost feel uncertain at first. Yet this calm isn't emptiness. It's the space where your heart begins remembering that safety doesn't have to be earned every single day. Your capacity to receive joy, stability, and meaningful prosperity is quietly expanding. You may notice yourself craving beautiful surroundings, seeking moments alone, or feeling drawn toward places where your thoughts become clear again. These are not signs that you're withdrawing from life. They may simply reflect an inner rebalancing, a gentle return to yourself after spending so much energy maintaining equilibrium for everyone around you. Venus reminds you that beauty is not a luxury separated from healing. Sometimes it is the doorway through which healing quietly enters. As your perspective shifts, you'll begin recognizing that your worth has never depended on how much you sacrifice. Healthy relationships, meaningful opportunities, and lasting financial stability grow more naturally when they are rooted in self-respect instead of exhaustion. The more you honor your own boundaries, the easier it becomes to recognize what truly belongs with you and what no longer does. So if something inside you feels lighter today, don't dismiss that feeling. Perhaps relief itself is one of the first signs that your life is beginning to return to its natural balance. This moment is about more than financial improvement. It's about restoring your sense of security, rebuilding trust in your own value, and rediscovering the quiet joy that has patiently waited beneath years of carrying more than you were ever meant to hold. Take a slow, steady breath. Libra, something within your life is beginning to settle into its natural balance. The places where you once felt overlooked are gradually making room for recognition, and what seemed delayed is finding its way toward you with quiet certainty. Comfort is no longer something you have to postpone while taking care of everyone else. It is slowly becoming part of the life you're learning to welcome. If these words resonate somewhere deep inside you, leave a comment below and simply write 222. I welcome balance and I receive what is meant for me. Let that be a gentle promise to yourself that you are ready to receive instead of endlessly reaching. Stay with me, because what unfolds next reaches far beyond financial improvement. It speaks to the return of your confidence, your peace, and your sense of genuine worth. As July 10, 2026 continues to unfold, you may begin noticing that every experience you've lived through has quietly prepared you for this season. The moments when you chose understanding over conflict, when you protected harmony without abandoning your integrity, and when you refused to betray your deepest values, were never signs that you were falling behind. They were shaping a quieter kind of strength that cannot be measured by speed or applause. In the language of Libra, true abundance begins when your inner world and your outer life start reflecting one another. This chapter isn't simply changing what you possess, it's transforming how you recognize your own value. The recognition arriving now is about far more than income or opportunity. It is the experience of seeing your life finally reflect what your heart has understood for a long time, that your standards were never unrealistic, only rooted in a deeper respect for yourself. While others may have mistaken your desire for fairness as hesitation, every choice to remain true to your principles was strengthening something far more enduring than immediate success. Balance has never been weakness. It has been your quiet foundation, even when few people understood its importance. This isn't the story of sudden luck or effortless fortune appearing overnight. Think of it more like a river that has been steadily shaping the landscape long before anyone noticed its path. Every season that asked for patience refined your judgment. Every relationship taught you something about reciprocity. Every disappointment quietly clarified what genuinely deserved your energy. What once appeared to be slow progress was often life creating the emotional stability needed to hold something greater without losing yourself along the way. There is also something deeply meaningful about the kindness you continue to offer, even during moments when your own heart felt uncertain. The compassion you extended, the peace you tried to preserve, and the dignity you carried through difficult seasons all became part of the invisible foundation beneath your future. These qualities are not forgotten simply because they cannot be measured. They shape the kind of opportunities that arrive with integrity instead of urgency, and the kind of prosperity that supports your life instead of consuming it. That is why what is approaching doesn't need to rush into your world with noise or spectacle. Some gifts arrive quietly because they are meant to remain, like the calm surface of a still lake settling after a long season of wind. Your life is making room for something lasting. The more you release the habit of guarding every possibility, the easier it becomes to recognize that what is truly meant for you does not require constant fear to protect it. If peace feels unfamiliar, allow yourself time to grow comfortable with it. After spending so much energy maintaining balance around you, your nervous system may still expect another challenge to appear. But this season invites a different response. Trust becomes its own form of strength. You no longer have to measure your future by yesterday's uncertainty, because what is taking shape is no longer only an idea you're hoping for. It is gradually becoming something you can welcome into your life with calm confidence, open hands, and a heart that finally believes it is worthy of receiving. Libra, you're no longer being asked to prepare for another battle. You're being invited to create space for what is finally ready to arrive. Imagine setting a beautiful table before the guests appear, not because you are trying to prove anything, but because you trust that what belongs in your life is already finding its way to you. This season isn't about chasing evidence that you're enough. It's about recognizing that your life is beginning to reflect the value you've quietly carried all along. There is a reason your journey has unfolded at this pace. The grace you've shown, the fairness you tried to protect, and the relationships you've handled with integrity have left an imprint that reaches far beyond what others could see. Recognition may seem late, but it has never been absent. Some forms of abundance take time because they are meant to arrive with stability rather than urgency. As July 10, 2026 invites a new rhythm, allow your shoulders to soften, unclench your hands, and let yourself believe that what is truly meant for you does not require constant vigilance. The next lesson may feel unfamiliar because it asks you to pause without feeling guilty. For someone who has spent so much energy maintaining harmony, slowing down can seem almost irresponsible. Yet this isn't an invitation to become passive. It's an invitation to stop measuring your worth by how much you carry for everyone else and begin experiencing the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your value exists, whether you're giving, solving, or simply being. When life gently whispers, rest, it isn't asking you to lower your standards. It's reminding you that security and peace can exist together. There is a quiet elegance in allowing yourself moments of ease without believing you've somehow fallen behind. The more comfortable you become with stillness, the more naturally you create room for opportunities that don't arrive through exhaustion, but through alignment with who you have become. This practice of ease begins in the mind. For a long time, your thoughts may have been occupied with weighing every possibility, anticipating every outcome, and making sure no one felt overlooked. That awareness has served you well, but it doesn't have to carry every conversation inside your head forever. Let your mind become less like a courtroom debating every decision and more like a peaceful garden where clarity can emerge without constant analysis. Instead of asking what might go wrong, remind yourself gently, I am safe, I am supported, I have enough, and I am enough. Emotionally, balance means allowing calm to exist without immediately searching for the next problem to solve. If moments of peace feel unfamiliar, notice that reaction with kindness rather than judgment. Sometimes the nervous system mistakes quiet for uncertainty simply because it has grown accustomed to living in survival mode. But that old pattern doesn't have to define this chapter. Let contentment become something you recognize instead of something you question. Libra, your connection to beauty has never been superficial. It has always been one of the ways your spirit remembers balance. Surround yourself with colors that soften your thoughts, music that slows your breathing, conversations that leave your heart lighter than before, and spaces that invite you to simply be present. Venus teaches that beauty is not an escape from reality. It is often the environment where healing becomes possible, and where abundance quietly begins to feel at home. Just as a still lake reflects the sky most clearly when the wind settles, your life often reveals its greatest blessings when you stop creating waves through unnecessary worry. This quieter season may appear uneventful from the outside, yet beneath the surface, something meaningful is reorganizing itself. Your perspective is changing, your boundaries are becoming healthier, your relationships are becoming more reciprocal, and your understanding of prosperity is expanding beyond achievement into genuine well-being. As this inner balance continues to deepen, let yourself enjoy the goodness that finds you without apologizing for it. Accept moments of comfort without wondering whether you've earned them. Welcome opportunities without immediately expecting them to disappear. Let each small joy become a quiet affirmation whispered back to the universe. I receive this life with gratitude. I honor my own worth. I welcome what is meant for me with an open heart. Libra, after you've begun welcoming more peace into your life, another transformation quietly unfolds beneath the surface. This one isn't immediately visible, yet it may become the most meaningful shift of all. The beliefs that once convinced you there would never be enough appreciation, enough stability, enough security, are slowly losing their hold. In their place, a new understanding is taking root. You are no longer measuring your value by what you can give away. You're beginning to recognize that your presence, your wisdom, and your character are valuable resources in themselves. This kind of change rarely happens all at once. It unfolds gently, often through the body before the mind fully understands it. You may notice moments when you feel unusually drawn to simplify your surroundings, rearrange your living space, or spend more time in peaceful environments. Rather than seeing these changes as interruptions to your routine, consider them quiet invitations to create a life that reflects the balance you are cultivating within. If you sometimes feel uncomfortable resting or saying no, remember that these reactions often come from old patterns that once believed love and security had to be earned through constant effort. Those patterns served a purpose, but they do not have to define your future. Every time you allow yourself to pause without guilt, you're teaching your nervous system that peace is no longer something fragile. It is becoming your new foundation. As someone guided by Venus, your connection to beauty carries a deeper meaning than appearances alone. Beauty has always been one of the ways your spirit restores itself. A quiet walk beneath the trees, fresh flowers on your table, soft music filling your home, or the gentle light of an early morning can remind you that harmony is something you can actively create instead of endlessly searching for. These simple choices help bring your inner world back into alignment with the life you're ready to receive. You may also notice that your standards are changing. Places that once felt comfortable may no longer inspire you. Conversations that leave you emotionally drained may become harder to tolerate. Relationships built on one-sided giving may begin to lose their hold. This isn't a sign that you become difficult or distant. It's a reflection of growing discernment. As your self-respect deepens, what no longer honors that truth naturally begins to fall away. There is nothing selfish about surrounding yourself with quality, kindness, and mutual respect. In fact, these experiences become reminders of the life you're choosing to build from this point forward. Like a calm lake reflecting the sky with perfect clarity, your outer world gradually begins to mirror the peace you've created within. The more you appreciate beauty without guilt, the more naturally you make room for opportunities that resonate with the person you're becoming. This season isn't simply about attracting greater prosperity. It's about embodying it. Prosperity is expressed not only through what you own, but through how confidently you honor your time, your energy, and your heart. As your sense of worth becomes steadier, abundance no longer feels like something distant that must be chased. It begins to feel like a natural extension of the life you've intentionally cultivated. And what is unfolding now should not be mistaken for luck alone. There are moments in life when balance quietly restores itself, when the energy you've invested with sincerity begins returning in unexpected yet meaningful ways. Time given to people who couldn't fully appreciate you, effort poured into situations that never reflected your value, and kindness offered without immediate reward have all shaped who you are today. None of it has been meaningless. Libra understands the symbolism of the scales better than almost anyone. When life has leaned too heavily in one direction for too long, there often comes a season of gentle correction. This isn't about revenge or proving anyone wrong. It's about restoring fairness within your own life. The opportunities arriving now are not taking something away from someone else. They are simply bringing your experience back into balance. That is why you don't have to force recognition or chase validation anymore. The more deeply you honor your own worth, the less energy you spend asking the world to confirm it for you. What truly belongs in your life has a way of finding you when your heart is no longer negotiating its value. Quietly, steadily, and with the same graceful balance that has been guiding your journey all along, life begins returning what was always meant to be yours. Libra, there comes a moment when life no longer asks you to keep score. The quiet need to prove your value, defend every contribution, or wonder whether your kindness will ever be returned begins to soften. Something deeper starts restoring the balance on its own. What belongs with you no longer has to be pursued with exhaustion, because this season is inviting opportunities, meaningful connections, and a lasting sense of security to find their way back into your life. Sometimes the patience you offered in one chapter becomes the confidence to create something entirely your own in the next. A relationship where you constantly carried the emotional weight may eventually give way to one built on genuine reciprocity. Years of showing fairness, even when it wasn't returned, can quietly open doors that once seemed impossible to reach. Life has a remarkable way of returning value in forms that are often wiser than the ones we originally imagined. That is one of the quiet lessons behind Libra's symbolism. Balance may not arrive on your preferred timeline, but it has a way of seeking equilibrium over time. The care you've invested, the dignity you protected, and the compassion you've chosen instead of resentment have all become part of the unseen story shaping this moment. What appears to be delayed is often still unfolding beneath the surface, gathering strength before it fully reveals itself. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this journey is that your heart never had to become hardened in order to move forward. You didn't need to abandon your kindness to become stronger. You learned discernment without losing your compassion, and that quiet strength has become one of your greatest gifts. The prosperity entering your life now is meant to be carried with grace, shared with wisdom, and enjoyed without apologizing for the standards that finally honor who you are. As your inner balance continues to deepen, you may begin noticing small moments that feel quietly meaningful. Repeating numbers like 222 may catch your attention more often, gently reminding you of harmony, trust, and relationships finding their natural rhythm. You might unexpectedly discover fresh flowers where you least expected them, Feel drawn toward peaceful places, notice a meaningful conversation arriving at exactly the right moment, or experience a surprising opportunity that seems perfectly aligned with your values. These moments don't have to be treated as certainty or proof. They can simply become gentle reminders to stay present and receptive to the possibilities unfolding around you. As new opportunities begin appearing, resist the urge to overanalyze every detail. Sometimes, the most meaningful changes enter our lives quietly, asking not for immediate certainty, but for thoughtful stewardship. Prosperity is not simply something to accumulate. It is something to nurture with wisdom, generosity, and gratitude. It becomes the environment where both you and the people you care about can feel genuinely supported. Libra has long been associated with beauty, partnership, and the art of creating harmony where it once seemed impossible. When resources begin flowing more freely, they often invite you to build a life that reflects those same qualities. A peaceful home, meaningful work, creative expression, and relationships rooted in mutual respect become extensions of the balance you've cultivated within yourself. True abundance is measured not only by what you possess, but by the atmosphere your life creates for everyone who enters it. You may still wonder whether this new chapter will last. That question is understandable after everything you've experienced. But take a moment to remember your own history. Every challenge has refined your judgment. Every disappointment has strengthened your discernment. Every ending has quietly prepared you to choose more wisely the next time. The resilience you've developed isn't loud, yet it has become one of the strongest parts of who you are. When these blessings begin taking shape and they are moving closer, your first instinct may not be to seek attention, but to create stability. You'll likely be drawn toward building a home that feels peaceful, surrounding yourself with people who value authenticity and making thoughtful choices that support your future instead of simply impressing others. That quiet desire for lasting harmony is one of the clearest signs that your abundance is rooted in something genuine. So when life offers you moments of unexpected goodness, receive them with an open heart rather than endless doubt. You don't have to question every gift before accepting it. Simply allow yourself to say, I welcome this balance. I receive this value with gratitude. Honor what comes into your life. Enjoy it without guilt. Share it when your heart feels called to do so, trusting that generosity rooted in genuine abundance never leaves you empty. Libra, you were never meant to spend your life settling for emotional scraps. You were always meant to create a table where peace, beauty, and meaningful connection could be shared. And now, little by little, that table is beginning to fill. Libra, the turning point may have arrived much earlier than you realized. It began the moment you chose your inner peace over the endless pursuit of approval, and the moment you stopped allowing other people's opinions to define your value. That quiet decision changed something beneath the surface, even if nothing around you seemed different at first. The shift was subtle, like the first light before sunrise, easy to overlook, yet impossible to stop once it begins. As July 10, 2026 continues to unfold, life may begin reflecting that inner transformation in ways that feel both gentle and unmistakable. Conversations become easier, opportunities appear with less resistance, and the weight you've carried starts to feel a little lighter. This chapter isn't asking you to work harder for what you deserve. It's inviting you to trust that what truly belongs with you no longer needs to be chased, because it is naturally finding its way toward a version of you that no longer doubts its own worth. What if the opportunity in front of you isn't asking for more effort, but for greater openness? What if the next blessing arrives because you finally made room for it, instead of carrying every burden alone? For so long, you've been accustomed to believing that every meaningful outcome required constant vigilance, careful planning, or another sacrifice. Yet life sometimes changes not because you push harder, but because you finally stop resisting what has been patiently waiting for you. The patience you've shown, the sacrifices you've made, and the hope you've protected through uncertain seasons have not disappeared into silence. They have quietly shaped the person capable of receiving what is now approaching with steadiness rather than fear. Every difficult season refined your judgment, strengthened your compassion, and taught you the difference between seeking approval and honoring your authentic self. Allow yourself to release the tension you've carried for so long. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breathing slow. Notice how your body responds when it no longer has to anticipate the next challenge before the current one has passed. You don't have to justify moments of comfort or explain why life is becoming lighter. There is nothing selfish about accepting peace when it finally arrives. There is nothing irresponsible about enjoying stability after years of learning through uncertainty. Sometimes the greatest expression of trust is simply allowing yourself to believe that goodness can remain. The nervous system takes time to believe what the heart is beginning to understand. So be patient with yourself as you learn that calm can be something lasting rather than temporary. When this new season begins revealing itself, don't dismiss it as luck or coincidence. Think of it as the natural unfolding of choices you've been making for far longer than you may remember. Every time you honored your integrity over convenience, every time you chose fairness over resentment, and every time you protected your heart without closing it completely, you were quietly shaping this moment. There were decisions that no one applauded and acts of kindness that no one acknowledged, yet they became part of the invisible foundation beneath your future. Life has a remarkable way of reflecting the balance we patiently cultivate within ourselves. The harmony you sought to create in your inner world gradually becomes visible in the people you attract, the opportunities you recognize, and the peace you feel without needing to search for it. So ask yourself a different kind of question now. How will you use this renewed sense of peace? Which relationships will you nurture with greater presence? What kind of home, community, or creative life do you want your renewed confidence to support? Perhaps abundance is not simply giving you more resources, it is giving you more freedom to choose what truly deserves your time and attention. Prosperity becomes most meaningful when it creates space for beauty, generosity, and genuine connection rather than simply becoming another achievement to protect. The richest seasons of life are often measured not only by what you accumulate, but by the atmosphere of calm, kindness, and authenticity you create around yourself. You are not stepping into this chapter merely to receive more. You are stepping into it prepared to live differently. The balance you've been searching for is no longer something waiting outside of you. It is becoming the atmosphere you carry wherever you go, influencing your choices before circumstances ever have the chance to. That quiet confidence is what allows opportunities, meaningful relationships, and lasting security to grow naturally around you. Instead of asking whether you are enough, you'll increasingly find yourself asking whether a situation truly reflects the peace and respect you've learned to cultivate within. That subtle shift changes everything because it transforms abundance from something you pursue into something you naturally sustain. Take one slow breath and let yourself fully arrive in this moment. Feel the steadiness beneath you and allow yourself to recognize how far you've already come, even if the journey ahead is still unfolding. If these words resonate with your heart, I'd love for you to leave a comment below and simply write 20222. I welcome balance, and I receive what is meant for me. Let those words become a gentle affirmation of the life you're choosing to welcome with openness and trust. Sometimes a simple declaration becomes a quiet reminder that your heart is finally willing to believe what your soul has known all along. And if it feels meaningful to you, place your hand over your heart and quietly say these words. Lord, I welcome the balance you are creating within my life. Help me receive every blessing with wisdom, gratitude, and humility. May my heart remain open, my relationships be guided by kindness, and my life become a place where peace, beauty, and generosity naturally grow. Give me the courage to trust what is unfolding, even when I cannot yet see the whole path before me. Amen. You have never been forgotten. Every season has been preparing you in ways that were often invisible while you were living through them. Even the chapters that felt slow or uncertain were quietly teaching you discernment, resilience, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Now, with greater clarity, healthier boundaries, and a deeper trust in your own worth, you're ready to welcome the chapter that has been patiently making its way towards you. Walk into it without the need to rush, compare, or prove yourself. Libra, this is your invitation to step forward with an open heart. Embrace the harmony you've worked so hard to create within and allow your life to come back into its natural balance.